Cody Becker again with another Vinyl Finds video, and man, it has been quite a while since the last time I've done one. I don't even honestly really know where to start. I've accumulated a decent stack of albums. I probably have about 40 albums to show, so I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as possible. Try not to make this video like an hour long, but because I know no one wants to watch me ramble on for an hour, but I'm just going to go right into it. The first set of albums I'm going to show were all from Black Friday Record Store Day, which happened about a month or so ago now. Went to two stores. Went to Electric Key Records. They opened up first. They actually opened up at 8 a.m. and I got there probably about 8:20, 8:30ish. And he actually said I was the third person there, so not really any line, no one really waiting. And honestly, I didn't really think there was a lot of stuff on Black Friday Record Store Day that was that I really wanted that bad. The main thing that I wanted was the Allison and Chains Sap EP. Obviously I have the original Jars of Fly / Sap EP, but this is the first time this was released as a standalone. And of course I got the Allison Chains B-side Etching, but great EP from them. So anytime they release something, I will pick it up. And I also picked up Jewel live at the Interchange. Really great live acoustic Jewel album from 1994, and it's limited out of 3,000. I got 985, if you can see on the back. And then I also picked up Anthrax, Soldiers of Metal. It seemed like there was a lot of people not really super happy with this release. It seemed like a lot of people saying, because honestly, when I saw this album on the list, I thought it was just the Soldiers of Metal EP being reissued, but it's an actual 6 live tracks from 1986, which is Soldiers of Metal, Metal Thrashing Mad, Howling Furies, Anthrax, Panic, and Death Rider. But I didn't think it sounded too terrible, and I'm glad I picked it up. And then the last thing I picked up at Electric Key Records, at least Record Store Day wise, was this Chris Cornell 45 white vinyl, and it's Patience, and the B-side is Nothing Compares to You, live at Sirius XM Radio. And I actually got this about a week after Black Friday Record Store Day. It seemed like a lot of stores, at least in my area, didn't get it in for Record Store Day, but I was glad that it actually probably made it easier to pick up after the fact. But then after Electric Key, I went to the Vinyl Rescue Project, and I will say that they had a much longer line. I was actually pretty far back, but still got the rest of the stuff that I was after. And some of the stuff I honestly wasn't really necessarily after. I just saw it there and ended up picking it up. And first thing is Motorhead On Parole reissue, and it's got some bonus tracks, all alternate takes and demo versions of stuff. So pretty cool. And I also picked up Alanis Morissette's live at London's O2 Shepherd's Bush Empire from 2020. Of course, pretty much doing the entire Jagged Little Pills album live, and then maybe some other songs as well. But I haven't actually got the chance to listen to this yet, but definitely looking forward to taking that for a spin. I was actually supposed to see Alanis Morissette this past summer, and obviously with coronavirus going on, it got postponed sometime in the summer of 2021. So hopefully that it can actually happen. But I am looking forward to it whenever that does happen. And the last Record Store Day release that I picked up is the Dio Dream Evil 1987 picture disc. And I'm sure people probably thought I was a maniac picking up Alanis Morissette and Dio. Probably think I'm the crazies. Just weird mixture of music. But I like pretty much about anything and everything. Well, at least I'll give anything and everything a chance. But that's all the stuff I picked up for Black Friday Record Store Day. The next few things I'm going to show, hopefully these are in somewhat of an order, but the next two things I'm going to show is the new Dave Matthews Band Live Tracks. This is Live Tracks Volume 6, this is a massive 8 LP set. 2 shows, 7706 and 7806, from Fenway Park on from 2006. Definitely pretty happy that they finally released this on vinyl, as I knew it was going to be a lot of LPs because it's like a 4 or 5 CD set. So I knew there was going to be a lot of LPs, but just tremendous set list. I'm not super sure how many they pressed of this. I almost want to say it was like 1,000, but it could be higher. I mean, this is number 936, and this is on. I think this one's on red vinyl. Then I also picked up Live Tracks Volume 7 from 12/31/96, New Year's Eve 96 from Hampton Coliseum in Hampton, Virginia. And this one is 709. So I think it's 1,000. It could be more. And this is, I think, on blue vinyl. But definitely, every time I see these sets, I always try to pick them up. I am missing Live Tracks Volume 1. I think I'm missing 4. But definitely had to pick those up. And I think I just actually got those like earlier this week. And they actually came pretty fast. Because I know with the mail going on right now, I feel like anytime I have something that's like 2-day priority, it takes at least 2 weeks. But I mean, definitely understandable in Christmas time, COVID. But I will say I pre-ordered the new Smashing Pumpkins album whenever the pre-orders came up. And actually, this is the one I pre-ordered. It's on Pink Haze. And it shipped out like maybe the day before the release. And it literally took me probably almost a month to get. And on top of that, they used that weird service when it's like UPS, and it goes UPS to USPS, like the mail innovate, whatever it's called. And so even when it's not Christmas time, it's kind of a slow service. But with the stuff going on now, this was like literally just staying at the post office in like Ohio for like literally 3 or 4 weeks until it finally moved and showed up. But I honestly probably leave this one sealed because I did end up grabbing the purple blood colored one as well. That I actually got this out of Electric Key Records. I actually got this on Black Friday Record Store too. I grabbed it that day that it came out on a pretty cool color. I don't really see any reason to open this one, but I know I really enjoy the new Pumpkins album. I think I might like the album that came out before this one a little bit more, but definitely do enjoy it. And anytime Smashing Pumpkins or Billy Corgan or William Patrick Corgan or whatever you like to call himself, anytime he releases something, I will definitely be picking it up. I actually found this at Half Price Books. I have been actually looking for this Billy Joel album, Stormfront, an original copy, for a while. I don't think it's like super too difficult to find, and I'm sure I probably came across it before. I just kind of like didn't pick it up for whatever reason. But for the last year or two, I've been kind of really on the hunt for this album. Obviously, it's got We Didn't Start the Fire on it. But one of my favorite Billy Joel albums is the Downeaster Alexa. It's a really great tune, and this is an original 1989 copy, in really good shape as well. So definitely glad to finally get my hands on that. And I also picked up also at Half Price Books an original copy of Tom Petty, Full Moon Fever, probably from the same guy that brought that Billy Joel in, I assume. But this is in excellent shape, and this is one that I was really glad to get also because I've been kind of on the hunt for an original copy of Full Moon Fever for a while, and I've seen it a couple of times. I actually saw it at Half Price Books probably about a year ago, and it was just in like terrible condition, just really beat up. And it was not cheap. They didn't have a cheap price on it at all, so I passed on it. But this one was, I think, like $20, and it was like near mint condition. So definitely glad I picked that up. And a few albums I picked up at Target. This is the new Pearl Jam 10 purple vinyl pressing. Actually, I haven't opened this yet. I don't know if I will open it up or not yet either. I mean, this is like my 4th copy of 10 on vinyl, so I don't know if I necessarily need to open it or will open it, but it's actually kind of funny because when they announced this Pearl Jam 10 Club, really, I put up a few on their site as like 10 Club exclusive. You get like exclusive access, and I was actually going to go purchase it. Before I could finish checking out, it sold out. I wasn't able to get it, but I noticed that the Target sticker is on there, so I assume it's probably going to show up on Target. It eventually showed up on Target's website, like maybe a couple days later. It sold out on there before I could get it, but then I was like, I'll just go into Target. I'm sure I'll eventually find it. And sure enough, I was able to find one at Target the day that it came out, which honestly worked out better because if I would have got it through the 10 Club, the shipping would have probably been not cheap. So definitely had to pick that up though, regardless. And I also picked up the new Mccartney album as well. And this is also the Target exclusive one as well, on green vinyl. Pretty cool color. Definitely gonna have to give this one a couple of listens to grow on me, but not terrible album, but just a little bit different. And then the next few albums that I'm going to show is albums that I actually picked up at a little antique mall down here. The first one is Scorpions' Savage Amusement, an original. I think this album came out in like '87. Picked that one up there, and I also picked up Accept Balls to the Wall. This is a French pressing of Balls to the Wall, so definitely had to pick that up. Red Polydor label. Definitely a great Accept album, but I will say this particular album definitely smells like it was like sitting in somebody's basement for like a long time. But the next several albums I'm going to show are all albums that I got at the Vinyl Rescue Project, probably in like 10 different stops. The first is an Uriah Heep Raging Silence picture disc, an original 1989 picture disc. Picked up the Cult Wildflower single, which is, a really solid song. I actually have the full album like somewhere that I picked up probably 6, 7, 8 years ago, but I saw the single there, picked it up. Another picture disc, Iron Maiden, Best of the Beast. Cool little picture disc. I mean, with it being a picture disc, the sound quality is not the greatest, but getting some of the songs on there, and it's kind of a cool picture disc. Definitely a bootleg picture disc. I don't think it's an official release, but nonetheless, cool Iron Maiden picture disc. I also picked up Accept, an Accept album I did not have, and it is on this red vinyl. And then definitely picked up the Chinese album, Space Hog. I want to say this was pressed limited to 1,000 copies, and it is on this, I don't know what you'd call that, red vinyl. But definitely glad I was able to pick this up, and definitely much easier to find this Space Hog album than their first album that came out, the first record store day drop earlier this year. I was actually able to just walk into the store and pick it up off the shelf and buy it, which I'm fortunate enough that he actually stuck, because he only got like one copy in, and I wasn't able to get into the store that day until after I got off of work. So luckily it was still there, and I was able to pick it up. But solid album from Space Hog. And then I also picked up Violent Femmes Happy New Year, which was this was a record store day release. in 2015, I think. One that I wasn't able to get in 2015, so after all these years, I was finally able to pick it up. And it is on collared vinyl as well. That's a super desirable collar, but definitely love Violent Femmes. And I also picked up another Record Store Day release from 2019, maybe last year, but I wasn't able to pick this one up on Record Store Day. It's pressed out of only 5,000. It's Jeff Tweedy Warmer. So definitely surprised that some people, someone had brought in some Record Store Day releases that I needed, but he actually had a new album dropped. It dropped digitally, I think, like in October, and it's physically coming out like next month. So definitely looking forward to picking up that album. And then I also picked up System of a Down, Mesmerized, the 2018 reissue of that. And I picked up Chris Robinson, Brotherhood. Not the best sounding album, and this is like the first pressing when there's some problems with it, but has the bonus 45. Can't go wrong with Chris Robinson though, and it was actually very cheap. And I also picked up Warren Zevon, Life Will Kill Ya, the newest reissue of the 2000 album. But you can't go wrong with Warren Zevon. I absolutely love Warren Zevon. I said it, I'm sure, before, but just a great album. A lot of great songs on this album. So definitely super glad that they finally reissued this on vinyl. I think it came out like earlier this summer. I think that is all the stuff that I've picked up at the Vinyl Rescue Project. The next few things is stuff that I've actually picked up at Electric Key Records. The first one is a music on vinyl version of. I think I have this up there. That's the right side. Slow Dive. I think this album originally came out in like '93. The music on vinyl version came out in like 2011. So picked up Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Kids, Dancing with the Antichrist. Some earlier Marilyn Manson stuff and some this cool vinyl. And some of the songs has like weird remixes to it, which I honestly really kind of don't care for. But I didn't have it, so figured I would pick it up. Fairly newer reissue. Came out, I want to say, sometime last month. Another one I found in there is pretty stoked to find this. There's Stabbing Westward, Weather Blister, Burn and Pill. Originally came out in 1995. It is on this red vinyl, which I want to say there was like only 500 copies pressed. But obviously, What Do I Have to Do? Probably one of the bigger songs off of this album. Definitely pretty happy to pick up that Stabbing Westward. And I also picked up an original copy of Rolling Stone's Flashpoint. Still has the shrink wrap on it. And I picked up, of course, I had to pick up the Facelift Allison Chains reissue. Definitely super glad, super happy that they finally reissued this on vinyl. One that I've been dying to have for a long time, and I finally here. Obviously, We Die Young, Sea of Sorrow, Man in the Box. It's a great album. Definitely super happy to have it. And I also picked up finally picked up the newest Mr. Bungle, the Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny demo. And it is on colored vinyl as well. It's on this clear red vinyl. So that is all the stuff I had picked up at the Electric Key Records. The next several albums I'm going to show is from Discogs. I definitely went a little bit crazy with Discogs in the last month or so. Picked up Aerosmith, Nine Lives. Some of those albums I honestly just kind of felt like listening to, and I saw it on Discogs, and it was like, I think $15.99 or something like that. I bought it, and I actually have not listened to it yet since I've gotten it. But it originally came out in like 97, I want to say. Honestly, definitely remember when this album came out, but I just remember like going into the record store and they had that disc play with this like picture on it. But definitely first time this is one that's actually been released on vinyl in the US anyway. Definitely plan on listening to it at some point. I also picked up an original 1998 copy of Korn, Follow the Leader. Not like a massive Korn fan, but I really like their self-titled album, which I actually just showed probably like in the last 2 or so videos, Final Find videos. Their second one I've never really like listened to a lot, but I definitely specifically remember when this one came out. I remember my brother buying the CD when it came out, so I kind of have like nostalgic memories from this album. Obviously Freak on the Leash is on here, but some of the songs I just honestly really just don't care for, but there's a lot of songs on here that kind of still hold up today, so definitely glad I picked up an original copy. I've kind of been like looking for one to pop up for a decent price, and one finally popped up for like, I think it was like 30 or 40 bucks. So I pulled the trigger on it, figured I probably wouldn't be seeing an original copy for that cheap anytime soon. And then I also picked up a few albums from this same seller. It's actually a record store out of Greece. I believe it's called Joe's Records. But this is an original 1992 copy of Fear of the Dark, Iron Maiden. Definitely one that I've been wanting to get for a while. And then at the same store, I picked up Warren Zevon, Transverse City. Definitely just love this Warren Zevon album. This is an original 1989 copy. I've been kind of wanting to get it for a while. And the funny thing is, this is a US copy, and all the ones on Discogs, I think there was like 2 for sale within the US, and one was like $75, and the other one was like a sealed copy for like some ridiculous amount of money, like an absorbent amount of money that no one would probably ever pay for it, even if it's just a sealed copy. But I got this one from them, and even getting it shipped was much cheaper, because I think this album was only like $18. But I picked up those 2 albums from them. Then I also picked up Bruce Dickinson's first solo album, Tattooed Millionaire. And I've been kind of on a Scorpions kick, so I picked up Animal Magnetism as well, which has In the Zoo on here, as well as the title track, Animal Magnetism, is just a very, very, very good, probably one of my favorite Scorpion songs. So definitely glad I picked that up. Then I also finally picked up, this is a UK copy of Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood. Definitely had to pick up that album. And the last thing I'm going to show is another music on vinyl version of Static X, Wisconsin Death Trip. And the funny thing about this album is I'm not really like a huge Static X fan either, but this album in particular, I mean, it's got Push It on it, but the song Love Dump in particular, because I remember I'm a big wrestling fan, and WCW, the tag team Chronic, actually used Love Dump as their theme music, and I just remember downloading like that song on like Napster, like Morpheus, one of those like media things like that, and listening to that like back in the day. It's kind of fond memories of that. But that is all the stuff I have picked up. Just hopefully this video isn't overly long. Just try to breeze through them as quickly as possible. But that is all the stuff I have to show, which is a decent amount of stuff. So hopefully kind of slim down a little bit, because definitely running out of room for these records. But that is all the stuff I have to show. I hope everyone has a great Christmas, happy holidays, and that's really all I have to say, and I appreciate everyone for watching, and I will see you next time.